Good morning and a very warm welcome to the 51st edition of Water Series webinar Dialogue with District and Municipal Administrators hosted by National Water Mission, Ministry of Jal Shakti, Government of India. ये सीरीज नेशनल वाटर मिशन का एक इनिशिएटिव है जिसके थ्रू भारत में अलग डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स में लिए गए वाटर कंजर्वेशन और मैनेजमेंट के इनिशिएटिव्स के बारे में हम जान सके और जल संचय में जन भागीदारी के इम्पोर्टेंट रोल को समझ सके. Before we begin with today's session, let us first watch a short video highlighting the important role that National Water Mission has been playing in fostering the objective of water resource management in India.
जलम जल स्थान गतिम सर्वथा एवं रक्षणीयम जंतु नाम सुख जीवनम हेतु जलस्य रक्षणम नूनम भवतु. जल ईश्वर स्वरूप है, सौम्य, शालीन, जीवनदायक. प्रकृति का दिया ये जल रूपी वरदान पृथ्वीवासियों के लिए सिर्फ एक विरासत नहीं बल्कि एक जिम्मेदारी है जिसे आने वाली पीढ़ी के लिए संभालना आवश्यक है और इस उद्देश्य की ओर पूरी निष्ठा से कार्य कर रहा है जल शक्ति मंत्रालय, भारत सरकार.
जल के बिना जीवन संभव नहीं. हमारी प्राचीन परंपरा में भी पानी के महत्व का वर्णन प्राप्त होता है. यजुर्वेद में कहा गया है, आपो हिष्ठा मोयो भव, अर्थात इस धरती पर जीवन प्रदान करने वाला रस जल ही तो है. अनियोजित शहरीकरण ने तालाबों और झीलों जैसे जल संचय के परंपरागत तरीकों को लुप्त कर दिया है. हमारी आने वाली पीढ़ियों के लिए स्वस्थ और सुरक्षित जीवन के लिए करना जरूरी है.
जलवायु परिवर्तन के प्रभाव का विशेष ध्यान रखते हुए नेशनल एक्शन प्लान ऑन क्लाइमेट चेंज के तहत नेशनल वाटर मिशन की स्थापना की गई. राष्ट्रीय जल मिशन के प्रमुख उद्देश्य हैं जल का डेटाबेस सार्वजनिक रूप से प्रस्तुत रखना और जल संसाधनों पर जलवायु परिवर्तन के प्रभाव का आकलन करना, जल संरक्षण वृद्धि और संरक्षण के लिए नागरिक और राज्य कार्रवाई को बढ़ावा देना, शोषित क्षेत्रों सहित संवेदनशील क्षेत्रों पर ध्यान देना, 20% तक जल उपयोग कुशलता में वृद्धि करना और बेसिन स्तर के एकीकृत जल संसाधन प्रबंधन को बढ़ावा देना. जल संरक्षण हेतु 2019 में जल शक्ति अभियान की शुरुआत हुई.
जब किसी अभियान से जनता जुड़ी रहती है तो उसे कार्य की गंभीरता का पता चलता है, उसके सामर्थ्य का पता चलता है, उसके स्केल का पता चलता है, संसाधन कितने लगते हैं उसका पता चलता है. इससे जनता में एक सेंस ऑफ ओनरशिप आती है और जो सेंस ऑफ ओनरशिप जो है ना, वो सफलता की सबसे बड़ी पूंजी होती है.
2021-22 में जल शक्ति अभियान कैच द रेन नामक एक खास कैंपेन शुरू किया गया. जल उपलब्धता सुनिश्चित करने हेतु प्रत्येक वर्ष एक मुख्य प्रसंग का अनुपालन किया जाता है. 2023 का मुख्य प्रसंग रहा पीने के पानी के सतत स्रोत, जिसका उद्घाटन भारत की राष्ट्रपति महामहिम श्रीमती द्रौपदी मुर्मू द्वारा किया गया और 2024 में जल शक्ति से नारी शक्ति इस सिद्धांत को प्रबल किया गया. राष्ट्रीय जल मिशन का मोटो है रेस्पेक्ट वाटर फॉर लाइफ, जिसकी ओर बढ़ते हुए जल प्रयोग क्षमता बढ़ाने के लिए जल शक्ति मंत्रालय द्वारा पूर्णतः समर्पित प्रभाग भी शुरू किया गया है, ब्यूरो ऑफ वाटर यूज एफिशिएंसी. ये ब्यूरो कृषि, उद्योग और घरेलू क्षेत्रों में जल उपयोग दक्षता को बढ़ावा देता है, जिसके तहत विभिन्न हितधारकों से जुड़ना अनिवार्य है ताकि कार्यान्वयन हेतु मानक विकसित किए जाएं, जल लेखा परीक्षा को सुगम बनाया जाए, जल पद चिन्हों की पहचान हो, सामुदायिक जुड़ाव को सुविधाजनक बनाया जाए, अनुसंधान को प्रोत्साहित किया जाए एवं राष्ट्रीय और अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर वाटर यूज एफिशिएंसी में सर्वोत्तम प्रथाओं को प्रदर्शित किया जाए. राष्ट्रीय जल मिशन द्वारा एक महत्वपूर्ण पहल की गई है. राज्य विशिष्ट कार्य योजना यानी स्टेट स्पेसिफिक एक्शन प्लान, जिसका उद्देश्य है जल संरक्षण, अपव्यय को न्यूनतम करना और राज्यों के भीतर तथा उनके बीच जल के अधिक समान वितरण को सुनिश्चित करना। एकीकृत जल संसाधन विकास और प्रबंधन के माध्यम से जल सुरक्षा, स्थिरता और समता प्राप्त करना है। इसके तहत जल की उपलब्धता, उपयोग और विकास से जुड़े वर्तमान एवं पुराने आंकड़ों का गहन विश्लेषण किया जाता है एवं मौजूदा जल नीतियों, योजनाओं और सर्वोत्तम प्रथाओं की समीक्षा कर जलवायु परिवर्तन के प्रभाव को समझने और उससे निपटने के लिए रणनीतिक योजना बनाई जाती है। स्टेट स्पेसिफिक एक्शन प्लान तैयार करने के लिए राज्यों एवं केंद्र शासित प्रदेशों को राष्ट्रीय जल मिशन द्वारा वित्तीय सहायता भी प्रदान की जाती है। प्रमुख राज्यों को 50 लाख रुपए की धनराशि एवं छोटे राज्यों एवं केंद्र शासित प्रदेशों को 30 लाख रुपए की धनराशि अनुदान के रूप में उपलब्ध कराई जाती है। SSAP सूत्रीकरण के समन्वय और निगरानी के लिए राष्ट्रीय जल मिशन द्वारा 2 नोडल एजेंसीज को नियुक्त किया गया है। नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न रीजनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ वाटर एंड लैंड मैनेजमेंट, तेजपुर, असम, नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ हाइड्रोलॉजी, रुड़की, उत्तराखंड। इसके अलावा जल इतिहास नामक पोर्टल पर ट्रेडिशनल वाटर हेरिटेज स्ट्रक्चर्स की जानकारी सार्वजनिक रूप से प्रस्तुत की गई एवं जन भागीदारी को भी अत्यधिक प्रोत्साहित किया गया है। इसी कड़ी में एक विशेष पहल की गई है, जल संचय जन भागीदारी, जिसके अंतर्गत गांव का पानी गांव में और घर का पानी घर में इस उद्देश्य की ओर तीव्रता से कार्य हो रहा है। बोरवेल संरचनाओं पर विशेष ध्यान देते हुए आने वाले मॉनसून से पूर्व 10 लाख लो कॉस्ट आर्टिफिशियल रिचार्ज स्ट्रक्चर्स निर्मित करने का लक्ष्य निर्धारित किया गया है, जिसका उद्घाटन 6 सितंबर 2024 को सूरत, गुजरात से किया गया।
माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के दूरदर्शी नेतृत्व में 2019 में जल शक्ति मंत्रालय का गठन किया गया। प्रधानमंत्री जी ने जल को राष्ट्रीय प्राथमिकता बताते हुए जल संरक्षण को जन आंदोलन में बदलने की अपील की है। उनके मार्गदर्शन में जल शक्ति अभियान, कैच द रेन और जल संचय जन भागीदारी को जन आंदोलन में परिवर्तित करते हुए पूरे देश ने देखा है। अभूतपूर्व कार्यक्रम चलाए गए। इन प्रयासों से भूजल का स्तर बढ़ रहा है, जल संरक्षण को बल मिल रहा है और स्थानीय समुदायों को सामाजिक और आर्थिक लाभ प्राप्त हुए हैं। प्रधानमंत्री जी का सपना है कि भारत एक ऐसा जल समृद्ध राष्ट्र बने जहां जलवायु परिवर्तन के प्रभावों का डटकर सामना किया जाए और जल संरक्षण हर नागरिक का स्वभाव बन जाए। आइए माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के इस विजन को साकार करने में योगदान दें और जल संरक्षण को अपनी जिम्मेदारी बनाएं।
मंत्रालय के इतिहास में पहली बार राष्ट्रीय जल मिशन द्वारा भोपाल में प्रथम अखिल भारतीय राज्य मंत्रियों का सम्मेलन आयोजित किया गया और स्वयं माननीय प्रधानमंत्री महोदय ने इस द्विदिवसीय सम्मेलन को संबोधित कर इसका उद्घाटन किया।
Water security is critical for India to achieve our vision of Viksit Bharat. Water scarcity affects agriculture, industry and our daily lives, with the greatest impact on the poor and the vulnerable, women and children. Addressing this crisis requires a multi-pronged approach. Government, businesses and individuals all have to play their part. This is a collective responsibility. We need to be mindful of our water consumption, adopt water-saving practices like rainwater harvesting, and contribute to a sustainable water future.
जल शक्ति अभियान के अंतर्गत लाखों की तादाद में रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग स्ट्रक्चर्स बनाए गए, अनेक जल निकायों का पुनर्विकास किया गया, विभिन्न जिलों में जल शक्ति केंद्र स्थापित किए गए, हजारों ट्रेनी प्रोग्राम्स और किसान मेले लगाए गए, वाटर बॉडीज की जियो टैगिंग और GIS मैपिंग की गई, और जिला स्तर पर साइंटिफिक डिस्ट्रिक्ट वाटर प्लान भी अपनाए गए। आइए हम भी जल शक्ति अभियान से जुड़ें और जल आंदोलन को जन आंदोलन बनाकर जल संकल्प को दृढ़ करें, क्योंकि संरक्षित हो जल तभी बेहतर कल।
As it was highlighted by our Honorable Prime Minister in the video, unless and until the community and the people join the water conservation movement, it cannot be sustainable enough. And today's sessions will focus on the same issues, how community can be better engaged in water conservation and management in India. It is now my honor to welcome Ms. Archana Verma, Mission Director, National Water Mission. Thank you, ma'am, for being here with us today. It is also my privilege to welcome Mr. Abhishek Sharma, District Collector and Magistrate, Rajouri, Jammu and Kashmir, and Mr. Kumar Deepak, District Collector and Magistrate, Mancherial, Telangana. Thank you, both of you, and a very warm welcome. We are also joined by some school students, as we can see on the screen, really excited to attend the session, and they have some really interesting questions that they will be asking at the end. I would also like to inform our audience that if you have any questions during the session, you can put them in the chat. And at the end, we have a question answer segment during which we will bring you on the screen to ask your questions directly. Uh, both Abhishek sir and Deepak sir will be focusing on the themes of Jal Sanchay Jan Bhagidari and how community participation address the issue of acute water scarcity and water shortage, and also led to rise in groundwater levels in the districts. And in Mancherial, Deepak sir will focus on how agricultural production was also increased because of increasing groundwater levels through community participation, what kind of roles artificial recharge structures and soak pits played. And Abhishek sir will focus on how tribal areas and the community in the tribal areas came together for Jal Sanchay Jan Bhagidari initiatives and address the issue of acute water shortage in the region. So very interesting topics and really important topics. But before we begin with the session and the presentation, I request Archana ma'am to reiterate for our audience the critical importance of Jal Sanchay, Jan Bhagidari in Jal Sanchay. So over to you, ma'am. Ma'am, mic.
Thanks, Ananya. A very warm welcome to two of the winners of the Jal Sanchay Jan Bhagidari Award. They will be getting award. We are trying to get it from the highest office in India. So congratulations, Deepak, and congratulations, Abhishek. You two will be getting rupees 2 crore each to do whatever you want to do for water conservation. And your imagination can run wild. I also welcome the little kiddies that I'm seeing in the collectorate of Mancherial, and I am sure that their questions will stump us. So, as you all know, since the kids are here, I just want to ask one question from you. हिंदी में बोलूं या इंग्लिश में?
English.
Okay. So the question is, ठीक है, मैं बोलचाल की भाषा में question is for you that is climate change something which has never happened before? Anybody? क्या क्लाइमेट चेंज एक ऐसी चीज है जो बिल्कुल नई है, पहले कभी नहीं हुई? को जो भी बोलना चाहे वो बीच में आके बोल सकता है.
Very phonetic morning, ma'am.
जलवायु परिवर्तन, जलवायु परिवर्तन, या नाउ आई रिमेम्बर, क्या जलवायु परिवर्तन एक बिल्कुल ही ऐसी चीज है जो अब अभी हो रही है, पहले कभी नहीं हुई? हाँ, बोलो बोलो, तुम कुछ बोल रही थी, अपना नाम भी बताना.
A very phonetic morning, respected madams and sir. In front of you, this is Aravinda Rani from ZPHS Kistapur in Jannaram, Mancherial district, Telangana state. So I would like to answer about that. I'm not sure about that, ma'am. So I think so. There is a climate change a lot from olden days to now when we are comparing, because now the more air pollution and such kind of things were happening, and also we are polluting a lot. That's why there is a change in the climate. And also we have to conserve the water, how the rainwater is there. So that is we are conducting today. You are very thankful, madam, for conducting this wonderful opportunity to me, for giving this Jal Sanchay Jan Bhagidari. It is a very useful to all of us for next generations. So let me tell just a slogan, ma'am. Our ancestors worship the water and the climate. Our grandparents were preserved it, and our parents used it, and they were very careful about that. Now it's our turn to save it and for the next generation, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, what's your name, girl?
My S. Aravinda Rani.
ओके, इतना लंबा नाम मुझे नहीं. रानी को दीपक, you should give her some award. So brilliantly, she just said what she wanted to say. She would make a UPSC topper. So actually what I want to say, Rani, is that climate change is not something which is a new phenomenon. Partially you have answered my question. As you all kids must have studied about the Ice Age, the Jurassic Age, when dinosaurs were there, and then they were hit by a meteor and water came from the meteor, and that's how Earth got water. So climate change is not something which is new. Climate has always been changing. It will keep changing. What is new about the climate change in the last 2000 years is, as you've rightly said, it is human activities, greenhouse emissions, global warming, which has accelerated the climate change. So what used to happen in, thousands of years is now happening in a short span of 50 years. Like when I was a kid, we had very cold winters, very predictable weather, cold winters, very rainy monsoon and hot summer in Bihar, where I grew up. But now it's all gone topsy-turvy. Kabhi bhi kuch bhi ho jata hai. You must be. So in our own lifetime, we are seeing. So all that is because of this unbridled human consumption, unbridled, lust to reign over other species as if Earth was only meant for the human beings. Whereas if you look at the cycle of the Earth, we may not be, we may just perish as a species. And the way we are going, the way we are exploiting the environment, that future may come very soon. So that is what I want to say, that since you guys are the ones who are our biggest, leaders in water conservation, because without the students, without the youth, there can be no water. Hon'ble Prime Minister always says that, for water to become a Jal Andolan, you need Jan Andolan, you need community participation. If you heard him speak, he was speaking about that जब किसी भी अभियान से जनता जुड़ती है, जनता में सिर्फ बड़े ही लोग नहीं, बच्चे भी, जो हमारे जल संचय जन भागीदारी जल शक्ति अभियान कैच द रेन का एक बहुत बड़ा पार्ट है, कि जब तुम लोग जुड़ते हो तब हमारे को अगर 10% रिजल्ट मिलना है तो वो 80% हो जाता है. So under जल संचय जन भागीदारी, जो कि हम वाटर कंजर्वेशन एफर्ट है, तुमको जान के you will be surprised to know India is the largest extractor of groundwater. Put US and China together, we extract more. We extract 25% of our groundwater. Today, what you're seeing in Uttarakhand, what you're seeing in other, hilly states, Darjeeling, a lot is because of the global warming, climate change, melting of glaciers, but it is also because there is so much extraction of groundwater. So when groundwater is extracted, the land subsides. So that is one of the reasons why we are seeing havoc. Because see, rivers will reclaim its floodplain. You cannot go and encroach and sit on the riverbed and say ki, matlab, why are we seeing flooding? So a lot of the urban flooding that you're seeing is because we have encroached the riverbeds, we have blocked her channels, we have blocked her water bodies, we have just made everything, our whole development strategy or our whole development perspective puts human as the center of development, GDP, gross domestic product. So we are always comparing development in terms of, how much increase in products and services that we have done. Now people are realizing, and that is why our honorable PM, who's a visionary, has launched this Mission Life. I don't know how much of you know about Mission Life, but NWM, National Water Mission's motto is respect water for life. Life means lifestyle for environment. You cannot be going in for unbridled, whatever man kar raha hai, kar raha hai, वैसा development, then you will not be saving your future generation. Your own generation will be under threat. As Rani has already said, that how your grandparents were more conscious. We had a bonding with water. We revered rivers as our mothers. We used to wake up and in all our be it the Muslim tradition or the Hindu tradition, the Sikh or the um, Christian tradition, water is very important. You dip in holy water, you offer. So that was the kind of respect that our ancestors had for water. But over the last few thousand years, may say 2000 years, or especially post, not even 2000, especially post the Industrial Revolution, our whole development has become very human centric, which doesn't look at ecology. So, as administrators and you as young children, you cannot say that we don't need development. सब nature में जाके monkey की तरह पेड़ पे लटक जाए, वो भी नहीं हो सकता. There has to be a balance between development and environment, and it should not be ki this versus that, but there has to be a balance. And that is why all the two of your DMs are going to present on how, through water conservation, they are raising the groundwater table of their districts, and they are trying to get back the water that has been lost in these two districts through various measures. So I wish them all the best, and over to you, Ananya.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for highlighting those very important points. I request Abhishek sir to please start with the presentation. We can have Abhishek sir's presentation first.
Uh, I have,
We will share it from our
yeah,
end.
I have uploaded the presentation, ma'am. I hope
Yeah.
it is there in the deck.
Are you?
First of all,
Yes.
yeah, I can play the presentation from here, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are you able
thank
to
you so
operate?
much, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. And first of all, thank you, Archana, ma'am, for giving us this opportunity to present what has been done in this Jal Sanchay Jan Bhagidari in the district Rajouri, ma'am. And also greetings to my batchmate Deepak sitting there in Telangana. And congratulations, Deepak, for
Just
the
shot
award.
like a phoenix, Montreal was nowhere. And suddenly they came in the top.
And
Yes, go on.
my greetings to Ananya ma'am and all the school children who are attending and all the viewers who are going to become a part of this presentation. Ma'am, I'm going to present the concept which was Honorable Prime Minister's vision, but in a different context of how it integrates with the tribal lifestyle in Rajouri. And district Rajouri is a district which is adjoining the line of control. It has 121 kilometers of border with Pakistan, and also on the northern side it is bound by Pir Panjal mountain range, which makes it topographically and geographically very unique. uh, so Rajouri is also more than 90% population is scheduled tribe population, and that is where we when we understood the tribal lifestyle and uh, their livelihood, so we realized that जन भागीदारी अगर सही मायने में हमें करनी है तो सबसे पहले कंसल्टेशंस करनी पड़ेंगी और समझना पड़ेगा कि किस तरीके से जो ट्राइबल कम्युनिटीज हैं वो वाटर को मैनेज करती हैं. So the challenge was that the terrain is very hilly and very dispersed population. So doing a project जिसमें scale important था, we needed to focus on the traditional water sources जो हमारी ज़रूरतें थी जिस हिसाब से, और इसके लिए भी the important part was the groundwater, जिसमें हमारे जो springs हैं and the chashma baulis which are locally the source of water, not only for human consumption but also majority for the livelihood of the pastoral population and the people who are shepherds and nomads. उनको मद्देनजर रखते हुए, उनकी प्रायोरिटीज को रखते हुए we had planned this. So there are three main tribal communities in district Rajouri. Pahadi tribes, then we have Gujar community and Bakarwal community. We'll be focusing more on the Gujar and Bakarwal because they are the ones whose whose livelihood, life itself depends upon animals. And in Gujar community, mostly they are dependent on the milch animal, but Bakarwal community, they are the nomadic shepherds which do annual transhumance. That is, they keep migrating to the higher ridges of Pir Panjal in the summers and then they come back in the winters. So we realized that for the tribal communities, how water plays an important role. So when we interacted with the people and the tribal leaders, we realized that although drinking water schemes have come up, we have Jal Jeevan Mission, we have Amrut, but the water demand for the animals, the water demand for the there is huge water demand for the animals, so which cannot be catered through our drinking pipeline piped water sources. We have to understand that such a huge demand of water cannot be met through the schemes which are meant for the human centric point of view. As ma'am was mentioning, that development is mostly human centric, so this is an element which doesn't get addressed. So the traditional water sources, the ponds, the baulis, the springs, they are the ones जिसके ऊपर जो tribal communities हैं उनका livelihood का dependence है. And when we analyzed their migration pattern, that the migration routes are along those water bodies, that whenever they migrate in summers, they always migrate towards places which have water sources. So they are very knowledgeable about the water sources, they are very knowledgeable about the catchments. So we tried to integrate that aspect into this Jal Sanchay Jan Bhagidari. So this is some pictures of those places where the animals and the people, they live together in the summers, and because water is a daily requirement, it cannot be stored at such a level, so they have to go to the water sources, make the animals drink water and then come back, so they know exactly where the water sources are. Then the challenge was that how do we integrate this mission and how do we utilize our schemes to make sure that the challenges which these people were facing in the water bodies. So the challenge was that first of all, as the students, she was mentioning that pollution. So all the water bodies are now getting polluted because the kind of drainage systems which are existing, we don't cater to the earlier there was not chemically, the water waste was not loaded with chemicals and detergents and soaps, But now people, they go to those bowlies washing their clothes and utensils, and they would use detergents and soaps, and in the end what happens is those water bodies, they get polluted, and they are not safe for drinking, either for human consumption or for animal consumption. So we have seen that in past many such places, what the tribal communities did, they organized some gram sabhas, and then they decided that we will not use chemicals and soaps and detergents and this bowlies. Also, there are religious sentiments, as ma'am was also mentioning, that water bodies have been worshipped by these communities. So they are very particular about maintaining the sanctity and the purity of those water bodies. So that was the most biggest strength for us, which led to the success of this program. Second was the traditional knowledge, which I mentioned earlier, that they know entire routes, which are the water bodies, where are the water sources, where are the springs, and which springs have dried up in the recent past. So we tried to use those knowledge to focus on revival of those springs which have recently been dried up, जहाँ पे अभी अभी वो पानी सूख रहा है, और people are worried कि how will they make their animals drink water. So that part we focused on. Then we also identified that women play a very important role. It's water is also a gendered commodity. So in any household, the water manager is a woman. She has to go and fetch water, and she has to manage the water depending upon various needs of, and also we identified that the stake women have in this part is very important. So keeping in view the scientific and the local wisdom, we designed this whole campaign, and we conducted gram sabhas in almost all the water scarce, water distressed panchayats jahan pe water bodies were drying up. We organized gram sabhas, and then we because there was not big funding from any other scheme, and there is no corporate where we could use corporate social responsibility, our dependence was mostly on Manrega, and some part of it was funded from the integrated watershed management program, and some part of it was funded from the forest department. So we focused that we will utilize Manrega, and we had a special plan for Manrega made to focus on revival of water bodies, which led to initially what happened, that not everybody wants to focus on water, but when we held gram sabhas and stakeholders discussions, we realized that people were much more worried than us about water, and only a nudge from our side, it resulted in acceptance by the people that yes, water is something where we want to invest money. So there they, because it's human labor, Manrega, people have to work. So wherever they wanted to work, we could not force. So we have convinced kind of in all the villages which were water distressed, that if we can utilize those funding in water related works, it will result in a better future. So that is the strength which we had, the Jan Bhagidari element which comes into play here. So what has been done in Rajouri is we have developed 132 Amrit Sarovars. Amrit Sarovars generally were made, but they were not functional. Some of them were not functional. We identified that people also have a problem of pollution, which has been there in Amrit Sarovars. So we made a special audit of Amrit Sarovars done. We got a special audit of Amrit Sarovars done, that what kind of things lead to sustainability of Amrit Sarovar. So some Amrit Sarovars we made place where silt drainage can be done, where we can make different chambers for animal drinking and different chamber for human usage. Similarly, there were traditional ponds, 894 ponds, which specifically we focused on the livestock. That wherever the animal population was huge and the migratory routes they were there, so we focused on making those ponds, because in summers these ponds get filled, and in monsoons also it gives the population at least 1 month of water storage. So that is where people also they were convinced that ponds is something which we need to focus on. Then, as I discussed before, there were springs, but problem with the springs was the pollution, because when we use springs for cleaning and washing clothes and utensils, they get polluted. So what we did is that, first of all, we thought that we need to fence those open springs. So we made structures around those springs to ensure no external water, no runoff water goes into the springs. We had one incident last year, wherever in one village there was E. coli contamination of two springs, which led to deaths. So that was also an eye-opening experience for us, that it is something which is direct pairing with public health. So we did the construction around those springs to ensure there is no pollution which is external to the springs. And those springs, that was kind of a biggest strength for us. Now we have formally taken up the proposal from the watershed management program also, that we will document the springs, their sources, and focus scientifically on permanent kind of sustainability of those springs. So that is a very good learning from this experience. Then smaller water tanks, which were focusing on mostly domestic water usage and other things, so which we will be seeing in the next slides. So what happened, how this water related activity or social kind of process, it not only led to increase in water supply for the animals and economic health, but also it has a social impact. I will just highlight 4 to 5 impacts. Cattle health में milk की yield बढ़ गई, because now the cattle had more water to drink, so it directly had a economic relevance for the tribal communities. Distress migration of those tribal communities, it reduced this year, because those water bodies, and thanks to the extremely heavy rainfall, all the ponds which we made, they got fully filled. So there was no distress migration to search for water bodies. Agriculture productivity has also gone high, because the local water tanks, they have supported agricultural productivity. But that is something which we still need to focus, because of the cropping pattern has not changed, which will take 3-4 more seasons to convince people to change the cropping cycles. Then it also led to increase in the income, and as I said that water is also gendered, so the impact on women who had to go far to collect water, that distance has gone down. So these are some of the Amrit Sarovars. This is a border block. It is on the line of control. So some Amrit Sarovars this year which were filled with water. So this is one Amrit Sarovar. Now this is also very livestock, but there are various self-help groups. They have started doing fisheries in Amrit Sarovars. Now women have directly taken over the control of those Amrit Sarovars in those villages. So that's very glad to know that it was without any nudge, without any push. Some self-help groups, they did it on their own. So we are now trying to replicate that model, that we will not be doing any sort of external push. Let the community have its own understanding about water and utilize it for a much effective monitoring. So these are springs which are very located in very remote areas in forest, deep inside the forest, but they were getting polluted. So we tried to cover them, make structures around the springs so that the water doesn't get polluted. So these are dugwells which were made in another block where agricultural production was also focused. So dugwells primarily, they give us water for irrigation and also for drinking, after ensuring that these areas are the ones where water table was already high. But this also results in recharge, because once we have made them functional, so the water which goes in, they also recharges the aquifers. So it has become, the Amrit Sarovars in those areas have become a place for social gatherings, and it has led to some sort of cultural acceptance, because what I saw in urban areas, that water bodies and cultural acceptability is less. They see it more in terms of aesthetic value. But for these people, water has intrinsic value, as it is very important for their cattle health, very important for their livestock. So they ensure that these water bodies are not polluted by anyone. So they have become the guardian of those water bodies. So this is all the pictures. Thank you, ma'am. This is the end of my presentation, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhishek sir. Really interesting how you also involved Gram Sabha in all the initiatives that were undertaken. We would now like to hear from Deepak sir. Can we have Deepak sir's presentation on the screen?
My presentation is, I think
Yeah, we're playing it, sir. Yes.
So, good morning to Secretary ma'am, my batchmate and fellow participant Abhishek, Ananya ma'am, all other participants who have joined this webinar. Very good morning to this water series webinar. So, I'll be presenting on best practices of water management in Mancherial district. So first I'll give the contents overview of whatever is my presentation is. So first about the geographical and geological descriptions of my district. Then what is the need of water conservation in Mancherial district? What strategy we adopted for water conservation? Different type of water harvesting structures and its impacts. Outcome of water conservation, learning and way forward. So since from my district, some students have also joined, so they will also share something, ma'am, question, ma'am. So first, in Mancherial district, we have 18 mandals or blocks. So out of that, 16 mandal is rural mandal, 2 mandal is fully urban mandal. And Mancherial peculiar thing is that around 50% of population will be now urban. So around 8.11 lakh population is as per 2011 census, and presently it's around 10 lakhs. It's a highly industrialized and mining related area. And geologically, if we see, it has Gondwana group of rocks, sandstone and limestone. That's why coal is prominent. So 82% is covered by this geological structure, and 18% is covered by Archean group, granite and gneiss. So here mostly water related issue will be there, because groundwater issue will be always be there in such kind of strata. So what is the need of water conservation in Mancherial? So I already discussed here. Singareni colliery, already half of the district mining activity, heavy mining activity is going on. Then Orient Cement, now under control of Adani Group, has a cement company. So they do limestone mining and coal mining. Then we have Godavari River, so we have sand mining. So all these are related to interlinked to the scarcity of groundwater and water related. Then water intensive cropping system, because of the weather system, Mancherial has 2 paddy crop and cotton crop. Then it has near to equator. So very hot summer and long dry spells. So rain will be coming only for 3 months during monsoon only. The rapid urbanization, as I have already discussed, around 50% of population in near future is in the urban area only in Mancherial district, and we have corporation having around 3 lakh population. So 35% of population stays in corporation, district headquarter corporation. Then we have huge dependence on drinking water for groundwater only. So mostly borewells and hand pumps are used for drinking water in far-flung and rural areas. And we have annual rainfall of around 100 cm normally, and which is concentrated in 3 months around July, August and September. So what strategy we have adopted in Mancherial district for Catch the Rain campaign, which is run by the government of India. So what we did is, we did large number of structure, small structures, so that public participation will be there. So when I discuss all these structures, I'll be able to explain what percentage of household are really invested themselves in the water conservation. The large scale plantation, because plantation is one thing which stops soil erosion, which gives better water quality, which attracts rain, which makes climate colder, and lots of benefits. Then soak pits in the individual households and community soak pits for community places. So this used as both water conservation structure and grey water management, because this has Mancherial has peculiar characteristic of forest land and earlier malaria related issue, and now with urbanization dengue related issues are also coming. Then borewell tube-well recharge structure we have adopted, because we have huge dependence on the borewell and tube-well for drinking water. Trench boundary cattle proofing in rural area, because we have tried to integrate livelihood opportunity with the water conservation so that public participation will be the more. So I'll discuss how trenches are affecting groundwater and the livelihood related opportunity. Then desiltation of conventional water resources, which we generally take it up. Fish breeding pond, farm ponds, Amrut Sarovar community water harvesting pond to integrate livelihood with the water conservation. Then some structure like check dams, water percolation tank, just made for the increasing the groundwater levels in the district. Next. So these are the certain different kind of soak pits. All structure are same, which we study in class 8th, 9th. That if we want purified water, we need to put first boulder, then pebble, and then sand. And with this structure, if water goes, even if unclean water goes through this structure, it will lead to the cleaner water only. So this structure, magic soak pit, some smaller structure, we are using it for individual household under MG Narega, and these are all the costs covered under MG Narega, fully funded by the government of India. So no additional burden for the local body or individual household. They just need to find a space, construct these households, so that they will be able to manage their grey water which is coming out of their household, or community places which is coming out from other common resources, and this will lead to the water recharges, cleaner water, and there won't be any water wastage. So all this cost is fully funded by under MG Narega. So we are using it, magic soak pit for individual household, community soak pit for community places, some bigger structure, then drain and soak pits also. So what we are doing under MG Narega, 1 lakh rupees is giving for storm water drain, and at the end of drain, if we make bigger soak pit, then all of rainwater will go directly in the soak pit, and it will recharge the groundwater, and it will give cleaner groundwater to recharge, and it will lead to the better quality of groundwater as well as good level of this water table for groundwater. Next. So in last 1 year, we are able to construct 43,545, and these all structures are geotagged, verified by scientists who came from Ministry of Jal Shakti. 10% randomly they verified on ground, and another 90% through desktop verification through their photographs they verified. Then community soak pit, 5,372 we did it in last 1 year. It was also verified. And now I will tell you that we have rural household hardly around 1.2 lakhs. So around 35% of household came forward and they constructed individual soak pit. Then all kind of community structure, government structure have this community soak pit. Now our next big thing is we are going ahead with the drain and soak pit, so that will not be there won't be any water which will be flowing outside, which will create water logging, or which will create vector related disease like mosquito related disease, dengue and malaria. So with this, I'll discuss in last what is the effect of all this. So this led to the water recharge increase, vector control led to the vector-borne disease. So last year, this time, our all hospitals were fully filled with the seasonal disease, fever, dengue and malaria. This time we have very less this vector-borne diseases. Then community participation, because 1/3 of household is coming forward and doing in 1 year. It's a great achievement, and what is the motto of this National Water Mission, that Jan Bhagidari, we are truly trying to replicate this. Then fund mobilization is fully from Manrega. So there won't be any financial burden on household for participating in this novel program. Next. Now, next is this borewell recharge structure and rooftop harvesting structure. So we are making it mandatory for new houses construction, particularly in urban area and rural area. Also, we are trying so that whatever rain comes, that will go directly to the groundwater. So this is very simple structure, very economical, and in rural area it can be taken up through EGS. In urban area, it's mandatory. Without that, we will not be giving building permission. For bore wells structure, lots of water get wasted because some water will spill out, and because of that, this water will be wasted. So if we construct this kind of a structure, this will stop the bore well water wastage. Now, in these cases also, now for bore well also, any new bore well drilling permission only be granted or government related only be granted if they include in estimate this kind of a structure, so that with enforcement we are able to do it. So total roof top harvesting structure last year we took 339 in rural area of district. Borewell open recharge structure 265, so around 2000 borewells we have. So earlier borewell we are able to get it around 15% we did it. Now another on saturation basis we are trying to convert it. So all government institution on priority is covered with rainwater harvesting structure. New house plan must have water harvesting structure. The new borewell or any other borewell which we are converting with this structure, hand pump or borewell, so that all this wastewater will also will go directly for the groundwater recharge. Now next is integrating livelihood with the water conservation. As I have already discussed it. For any Jan Bhagidari, if it is integrated with the livelihood opportunity, it will give sustainable and better outcome. So what in this case we did it, we have done 23,589 percolation tank under MG Narega, farm ponds 7,421. So farm pond, what they do it, because it's Indian plateau area. So here, if we dig farm pond, it gets filled in the rainy season, and farmers use it for the other season crop, Rabi crop. So this will integrate directly without any financial burden from farmer to the agriculture productivity. Same thing, fish pond under PM Matsya Sampada Yojana or MG Narega, we have subsidy related to all groups, particularly women and SC/ST. And for this fish pond, we use there is EGS related structure. We use it. And in this fishing community particularly use this as fishing sources, and it enhances their livelihood. At the same time, it increases the groundwater level. And percolation tank is particularly done for in the summer season. It will act as for animal drinking water source. At the same time, it in integrated water sage management scheme, this will add as the source for the groundwater recharge. So this also we have around 30,000 structure we did it in last 1 year, and with this both groundwater quality and groundwater recharge level have increased, and this has led to the community participation in large scale in this Jan Bhagidari Jal Sanchay scheme. So I'll discuss in last what are those effects about this. Now this trenches is unique concept of this Telangana area. In this what we do it, like in forest area where the revenue land is near to forest area, so wild animal, particularly wild boar, will come and they will destroy the farmers' crop. So in the summer time, they will do boundary trench so that it will help them to protect their crop from the wild animals. At the same time, during rainy season, these trenches will get filled. And once these trenches will get filled, they will get water. In addition to it helps in the groundwater recharge. And this structure is also permissible under Natural Resource Management, MG Narega. Same thing, staggered trenches, particularly a steep slope of the this forest land. So a steep slope, if once the rainfall happens, so soil erosion and water with very high speed will come down. So this will lead to the wastage of water in addition to the soil erosion and other thing. So what we do in this case, we'll do a staggered trenching. This will reduce the runoff velocity of the water, it will reduce the soil erosion, and this structure will get filled, which in slowly will help in the recharge of the groundwater. And these structures also helped us in the recharging the groundwater. Now the next structure I will discuss, check dam, Amrit Sarovar and plantation. So check dam structure, this is also constructed at many places, and this helps in the groundwater recharge. Particularly, this is useful in the area where there is severe groundwater shortage, severe groundwater related crisis. And then this Amrit Sarovar, already my fellow participants have discussed, the Government of India initiative. Through this, we are renovating the conventional ponds, and which is used for multi-purpose activities like social gathering, fisheries, cattle water for cattle during summer season. And so these structures are also taken up on large scale in our district. And again, last 3 years, 45 lakhs plantations are being done in district with the public participation. So each household by act is mandatory, they must plant six saplings within the available space with them. Maybe wood bearing plants or flower bearing plants, fruit bearing plants. So these kind of public participation has led to the increase of greenery. 2 days back also a report came, and in this area Mancherial has recorded enhanced green cover. So all these effects led to the better water recharge, better rainfall and better crop production. So last year we are able to highest paddy procurement in last some years, and cotton procurement increased by more than 2 times. So all these efforts are giving effect on the crop productivity as well as the livelihood, groundwater recharge. So now I'll discuss the outcome of all these efforts, and all these outcomes were documented by scientists from this Ministry of Water Resources, and he only gave me, and I also got it verified. So before this program launched, pre-summer 2018, before the Government of India launched this program, around 8.62 meters below ground level, we used to have average water. Now it's 7.7, so 1 meter groundwater rise. And it is very important, particularly in the area, mining area, where sand mining is prominent, where coal mining is prominent, where limestone mining, where water level decreases drastically, and then water related pressures also. So groundwater level pressures increase, means water recharge is happening regularly. And TDS means total dissolved solid, if we see, so from 780 ppm it came down to 690 ppm, and all groundwater quality in my district is within the permissible limit of WHO. And as I discussed earlier also, vector-borne disease also decreased significantly this year. So this is some graph. Only 2 mandal, which is very intensive mining is happening, where we have found depleted groundwater resources, and other all mandals we have positive groundwater resources recharge. These 2 mandals, a special plan we are planning, so that in these 2 mandals also we are able to increase the groundwater. Now any program will not succeed till it has high level of public participation. So here in Mancherial, we have very good network of SHGs, self-help groups, through which we promote or push various government initiative, various government programs. So we collaborated with them for this also, be it plantation, be it construction of soakpit, or be it livelihood related this, or be it any kind of beneficiary selection like PM Matsya Sampada Yojana. We prioritize women, and they came forward in large numbers. So these are some meeting photographs where women participation is in very large number. And in SHG meeting, bi-monthly, they should do one economic activity related meeting, one social issue related meeting. So generally, in social issue related, regularly they focus on the water conservation, and as we all understand that water related crises have very different impact on women and men. So we try to mobilize women for this Jal Sanchay Jan Bhagidari. Then children were also added in this program through plantation for creating awareness related to the water conservation. And with this, I could say in last 1 year, this related to this water conservation, my district has lots of initiative, lots of things happen, and this all related to the better result. And today also, ma'am, I think from my district, most of the participants should be joining online also. Lots of registration also happened. So about this initiative, a lot more awareness came in our district, and through public participation only, we are able to achieve this. And thank you, ma'am, for recognizing our effort, and we are selected for 2 crore prize. And this will motivate our people further for recognition of our district, so that we will be forefront of all kind of water conservatory scheme. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Deepak sir. Really interesting presentation, and how you integrated livelihood opportunities with water conservation initiatives. Plus, really interesting to note how different kinds of soak pits were created for different segments of the community. Scientific approach can be seen through those initiatives. Thank you so much to both the speakers for their presentations. Ma'am, should we take up the questions first?
Yeah.
Okay. So the school students have some questions. They can ask their questions one by one. Whoever wants to go first, just introduce yourself and ask your question.
A very fanatic madam and sir, this is Aravinda Rani from ZPHS Kistapur in Jannaram, Mancherial district, Telangana state. I am very lucky to question you, madam. If there is answer from you, I am very happy to answer from you. My question is, how our Hon'ble Prime Minister of India get the thought to conserve the water about Jal Sanchay Jan Bhagidari?
Oh, thank you, Rani. Very politically correct question you asked. Actually, where does the Prime Minister come from? Which state was he born in?
Gujarat.
Yes.
Gujarat.
So, Gujarat is a very water stressed district. At least some parts of Gujarat are the southern parts. So, what happens if you don't get something, like very easily, right from childhood? क्या होता है अगर कोई चीज आसानी से नहीं मिलती है तो? बोलो, कोई भी बोलो. What happens when, suppose you want to buy a big, doll for yourself, but it's very expensive. So, will you like that doll more, or a small doll which comes at easily available to you? Bolo?
A small dog.
Oh. Acha. So basically, what I was trying to get at was that whatever you don't get easily, you value more. वो human nature है. So he comes from a place where he has seen water crisis, where he has seen that, people, women have to walk, miles and miles for water. He has seen the run of Kutch desert, you have heard? So, people going thirsty. So, right from the moment he took over as Prime Minister, and he has also seen that without people's participation, you can only reach a certain extent of achievement. So he comes from a place where he has seen scarcity of water affecting the lives of ordinary people, affecting the lives of women, affecting the lives of children. Do you know that the biggest reason for school dropout for girls is that the toilets don't have water? So they drop out. So schools don't have drinking water. So that is one of the biggest reasons for the Prime Minister to value water. Unlike many other, people, other political representatives have also valued water, but he comes from a place of scarcity. So that is why, and his mode of governance has always been Jan Bhagidari. So that is why Prime Minister's emphasis in 2019, and he talks to people through his Man Ki Baat speech. You must have heard many of his Man Ki Baat talks. So he expresses his thoughts through Man Ki Baat radio talk. So in 2019, in June 2019, through his Man Ki Baat talk, he urged people of India, it was a call to action to get together for water conservation, for, as Abhishek and Deepak both have highlighted, more so Abhishek, that traditional water bodies, he said that there is so much wisdom already existing in our ancestors. So let's conserve those and let's make water policy a Jal Andolan through Jan Andolan. So that is why, PM's focus. And 2019, when he said, then we launched the Jal Shakti Abhiyan, which later became Jal Shakti Abhiyan Catch the Rain, where it falls, when it falls.
Thank you, ma'am.
So I hope that answers.
Next question.
A very colorful good morning to ma'ams and sirs. I am Abhivardhini in 9th standard from Telangana Government Model School, Kaspet, Mancherial District and Telangana State. I am going to ask you the question that is, our Honorable Collector of Mancherial District, Sri Kumar Deepak, IS sir, took many activities and succeeded in making people of all communities and sets of peoples in the prestigious initiative. Can these activities be widespread all over the country? If anyone give the answer, I am grateful to you. Thank you.
So Deepak, this is for you.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, actually, these all activities are financially sustainable, and ma'am, this all activities is only possible with the public participation. So there is no any financial implication for any of the household, any of the local body, any of the this community-led driven schemes, ma'am. All these schemes can be undertaken under the centrally sponsored scheme MG Narega or National Watershed Mission, or ma'am, other government of India funded like PM Matsya Sampada Yojana. So all these schemes very much can be replicated in the all over the country. And other thing, ma'am, little bit of regulatory changes and with persuasion, like with the water harvesting structure only building permission will be given. Or if you dig borewell, it's your duty to have this borewell recharge structure with you. So, or even if government does borewells or hand pump, that must include the estimate for the water related recharge structure. So these schemes and these effects can be very much replicable all other places, and it will have both, ma'am. It will have impact on the health of the society, it will have impact on the water groundwater level of the society, and it will have impact over large scale livelihood and other thing, ma'am. So we just need to convince them, we just need to persuade them, and once it becomes mass movement as desired by our government of India and state government, then these things will self-sustain in itself, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. And to add to Deepak, I have a WhatsApp group of around 700 DMs. So I have just posted that, just follow Mancherial if you want to succeed in JSJB. He has fantastically, meticulously, done it very strategically. Because to be nowhere in September, October, and to suddenly rise to number 3 in your zone and, do it, and that to speed with accuracy. What I really liked about your presentation, Deepak, is the technical detailing and the systematic way in which you've gone about it. That's really fantastic. I've already asked people to adapt the Mancherial model.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Deepak sir. Next question. Do we have
Great
We can
any
morning,
other?
take
respected
questions
sir and madam.
from the
I am
students
Abhignya
and
of
also
class.
from the people.
Yes, 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 ma'am. Yes, sorry, please repeat.
Great morning, respected sir and madam. I am Abhignya of class 8th from PM Shri Kendriya Vidyalaya, Mancherial of Telangana state. My question is, water is wasted publicly in many ways, like public taps, pipeline leakages while supplying water through water tanks, etc. How can we stop it? Kindly answer my question.
Abhishek, you answer this.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, just to mention that I was part of Amrut India-Israel, this is Mashaw cooperation, which is going on. And we had couple of presentations by Israeli government on the specific question which has been asked. That nowadays there are sensors available which detect leakage and which help us to identify leakage. So these sensors, they are not very costly now. The cost is coming down every year. So in our schemes, especially Amrut scheme, which is for the urban areas water supply scheme, the DPRs can be made, the detailed project reports can be made, keeping in view the non-revenue losses of water, and how we integrate those sensors, low cost sensors. There are various companies which are making them, so that is very very easy to integrate now. Already government of India is doing it. I was told that ministry is also pursuing that the DPRs, especially in the bigger cities, they are utilizing those these techniques and the technology. So I think technology is the future. If we have to conserve water, the technology can only be used. It is very fast to adapt, and it helps in real time data monitoring, because water as has been mentioned, is very very precious resource, and especially for the future. I think two important resources for the future are air and water, which we cannot make. If we have been able to catch the rain, the next big question will be to keep the water pure. So this both these things, if we rightly make, our future is secure. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any other question
Yeah,
from the
I
students?
will add to that. What Abhishek said is very, very important. Um, in water, we are also, it's not only tradition and wisdom of our ancestors that we are focusing on. I mean, I may have said it because the topic was such, but we are also looking at leveraging technology. Technology is the future, as Abhishek said, for water. We have this we have launched a pilot called MCAD, which is for water use efficiency, increasing it in the fields, and stopping canals from, suboptimal level of functioning. Many of our sewage treatment plants, like in Surat and all, they use this system called SCADA, or even for canal projects, command area development projects. What is SCADA is supervisory control and data acquisition, and it uses computers, it uses industrial network data. Like suppose a person sits there in the main control room, and he can see how much how much bacteria needs to be given to the water for it to get cleansed, how much of leak is happening. So this is a whole SCADA system which we are trying to now adopt. Now there's also space technology. A lot of space technology is especially being used to identify aquifers, or where you should go in for ground level recharge. Suppose you go in for ground, you khodo just a gadda anywhere. Suppose you khodo it in a place where floods come, then floods will inundate it and it will disappear. So technology is being leveraged. Then there are exciting things like from your mobile app in Karnataka, in Narayanpur, from your mobile app, you can give water to your crop. It's called Internet of Things, through satellite links, through the soil and moisture content of your crop is known, and you can release water through the pipes sitting on your, and all that is happening. Technology is something which I didn't talk about much, but we are leveraging. Then smart meters, which Abhishek has already talked about, in is being used in municipal corporations to optimize, water supply and to detect leakages. So we are using a whole host of technology. Without technology, we have to marry technology with tradition to go forward. I mean, it cannot be this versus that.
True. Thank you, ma'am. Any other questions from school students? Do we have any other question? No? Okay. So we have a couple of more questions from our audience. We send them the request to come on the screen, but they're not able to. So we have a question for Abhishek sir from P. Krishna. The question is how communities and children were involved in the initiatives that you had undertaken in Rajouri.
First of all, I'll be honest, we did not involve children directly because right now what we realize is that the biggest stakeholder there were the people who were doing the livestock rearing. So we were focusing on that age group, but I think it's a part where we can do much more by involving schools. And creating awareness. I think in the tribal communities, awareness is already there, so we did not need to create awareness. And with respect to the other communities' involvement, as I mentioned, there is one is a formal way of gram sabhas. So there is this institutionalized framework of consultation, but there are other ways in which we do transit walks in the villages and the forests with the people, with the tribal communities, to identify their water structures, springs, and other there are local festivals also which are built around water. So there are a lot of local festivals where people offer some they do offerings to these deities linked with springs. So that part we specifically focused on because it not only relates to sustainability of those water sources but also purity of those water sources. So that these traditional knowledge we used. But as I mentioned, that we did not involve the children in the first stakeholder discussion. We will be involving them now. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Another question is from Dr. Rakesh Kumar Mishra. The question is how community participation can improve the quality of drinking water resources. Anybody can take it. Ma'am, can you please answer this question?
Now, what was the question? I'm sorry, I was
How,
busy.
no, how community participation can improve the quality of drinking water resources.
Um, See, drinking water resources or sources? So, okay, I'll answer in two parts. The first is the drinking water comes from a certain place, and that is the source of water. So, the community participation increases the quality. If community is involved, like Abhishek's experiment of making suppose Amrit Sarovar is the source of water for that place and women are owning it, then they will check the quality. They will know what kind of, fecal, bacterial, or oxygen is there or not. So the quality and the cleanliness of the source is very important because if the source is polluted, your drinking water is polluted and you fall ill. So if community is engaged in managing the source or in handling the place where it comes from, so it really helps. And we have examples under the Jal Jeevan mission, which I don't handle, that wherever women have been involved in managing the sources for the drinking water supply, it has led to better quality of supply to for drinking water. Second is in operation and maintenance. How community can get involved under JJM. Another important lesson which is thrown up is when women are involved in operation and maintenance of the pipelines or of the of checking the quality. That really helps in the quality of the drinking water. Then also they can, if community is involved, then they can stop a lot of water wastage. They can create awareness about just not leaving your taps open or not. Second, how they can also help is drinking by through grey water management, which I think Kumar Deepak has done. That that dirty water doesn't contaminate your groundwater. So grey water management and ensuring that your groundwater gets good clean water. And also in checking some of, not many areas, I don't know if these two districts have, but many areas have fluoride, arsenic, which are contaminants in the water sources. So community engagement can also help in detection and amelioration of that. So community, even in drinking water, is very, very important. And evidence also shows that wherever community is involved in the Jal Jeevan mission, there the quality of water supply, quality of water has always been better than where everything government has to do. Like एक टूटी भी टूट गया तो सर वो वहां से आएगा बनाने के लिए, जबकि अगर कम्युनिटी ओन्ड जेजेएम है तो वो वहीं पे रिपेयर कर देगा. So वो भी है कि community तो in water, because water is a common resource, it's not an individual. What happened was that water was a common resource. Then the British came. And then they made groundwater a private property. कि जितना खींचना है खींच लो if you are above the air. Then they made water, which is also good. They made huge canal irrigation projects. Just say, water became from being something of a common resource. It became something which became a resource for the rich, and the poor really, started getting deprived and also became private property. So slowly that we have to come out of that mindset, and while we need progress, while we need development, while we need water for all the industries, agriculture, we also have to treat it as a common resource. And as Abhishek said, without air and water, I mean, we cannot survive. Abhishek, I keep repeating this W.H. Auden's very famous quote that thousands have lived without love, not one without water.
Thank you, ma'am. So these were the questions that we have from our audiences. Requesting Archana ma'am to share her thoughts on this speaker's presentation.
I think both of them were wonderful. I've already said that what I really liked was the Abhishek's focus on women, on the tribal communities, and because you see, the biggest challenge that we administrators face when a community is in movement and it is not stagnant, not staying, because we are so stuck to, having a sedentary kind of ecosystem for us to implement policies, that when we have migratory population, so the way he has done it and the way he has engaged with the community and, taken learnings from it, and women in the forefront. And Mancherial, I think he has shown the way of JSJ. We have nothing more to add. I mean, the way he has systematically done it, any district which does it, of course, I would have liked, some contribution from the people, not only in terms of kind, but also in terms of cash, or some, try to get at least for maintenance. Don't do everything from Manrega and government sources. Try that, you have a water users association who can give 10 rupees, something. because then you're making them very dependent on you. So sustainability will become a factor. And I think the children who came, they are also excellent. And the questions that their teachers must have told them, but the questions that they asked was very insightful. So all of you, I really congratulate you and wish you all the best. तुम लोग सब UPSC देना, तुम लोग सब में potential है IAS बनने का. Okay, thank you, Ananya.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you to Abhishek sir and Deepak sir
Thank
for
you,
joining
ma'am.
us
Thank you,
today.
Archana ma'am. Thank you, Ananya ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you to our wonderful students for their questions. And thank you to our audiences for joining us today. We will be back again with the next edition of Water Series webinar. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am and sir, for giving this wonderful opportunity to us. Thank you.
Thank you.